KV Mahalakshmi, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in BV Raju Institute of Technology, Nasapur, Hyderabad. So today we are going to see a topic in database management system. In that we are going to see keys and its types. Keys. So what is key? Key refers to an attribute or a set of attributes that help us to identify a row uniquely in a table. So table. So what is a table or a relation? Table or relation. This is a table. For example, we are taking this is a table. So in this, these are the rows and columns. So this is row, this is column, and this one is a row. The combination of this one we are saying is a relation or table. So columns are also called as attribute or fields. Rows are also called as tuples or record. So a key can be used to refer a attribute or a set of attributes used to find a table, that used to identify a row uniquely. So attribute or set of attribute that can be used to identify a row in a relation or a table uniquely. So we can also use when we want to establish a relationship between the different columns and tables of a relational database. So there can be n number of relations. There can be n number of relations or n number of tables. When you have to implement or when you want to implement or establish a relationship among the tables or a relation, so at the time also we can use this key. So there can be a types of keys. So what are the types of keys we are having? Candidate key, primary key, super key, alternate key, unique key, foreign key and composite key. Here we are going to see each and every keys one by one with some examples. First one is super key. So once we find out the super key, then we can easily find out all the upcoming keys. First, super key. What is super key? Super key is a set of attributes that can uniquely identify a tuple is known as super key. Set of attributes, or we can say super set of all keys. Once we find out the combinations or attributes or the set of attributes which can usually identify a tuple, used to identify a tuple uniquely. So that is called a super key. So this is super key is a super set of all keys. It will contain all the combination of keys. It will contain all the combination of keys. Suppose here we are taking an example of employee table. So this is the details of an employee table. So this relation we can name it as employee. So what are these attributes we are having? Employee ID, employee name, employee author, employee salary, employee contact, employee email. So here employee ID isn't what we can say that is unique. So it will be having unique values. Employee name is not unique because there will be a number of persons have same name. Employee author is also one of the unique. So this is also unique. Employee ID is unique. Employee Aadhaar is unique. Next, salary. When you are taking an employee details, salary, same salary can be drawn by a number of peoples in a employee. In a employee status. Employee contact also, this is not mandatory that all employees should have their contact number. So that's why we can mention as null. So null value can be accepted. So this is not mandatory that all the employees should have the contact number. So employee also one of the unique. Employee email also we can, all the employees is not mandatory to have their email ID, email address is not mandatory to have with all the employees. So here these are the uniquely identified attributes. We are going to find out the super key. First super key, employee ID, it is unique. So this is one of this because this is unique. So this is one of the super key. Next, employee Aadhaar. So this is one of the super key. So first we have identified the unique attributes. It should not have null values. Which should not have null values. So first we have identified employee ID and employee Aadhaar. So these are the first main two attributes which are not having null values, plus then which are unique. Next, we are going to take an unique plus which are having null values. So these are the combination of attributes. So I am going to take the combination of employee ID and employee name. So employee ID is unique. Employee name which can have duplicate also. So we can use to find out the tuple. So next, combination of employee ID then employee Aadhaar. We can take that also. Employee ID plus salary, employee ID plus employee salary. So here employee ID is unique, employee salary is not unique. So we can combine unique plus any combination of other attributes. So employee ID plus employee contact. Same like that, employee name with employee Aadhaar, employee contact with employee name. So combination of attributes which are used to find out a tuple uniquely. So that is the use of super key. Attribute or set of attributes. So it is called as a super set of all the keys. Super set of all the keys. Or we can simply say it is a combination of all the attributes that can use to identify a tuple uniquely. Basically. So from this we can derive the all other keys. Super key is attribute which are used to find out the tuple uniquely. Not only one attribute, we are going to consider an combination of attributes. We are going to combinations of attributes. Unique attributes you are going to take. Then unique plus non-unique or which can accept the null values. Those types of attributes also we are going to consider and we are going to find out the keys. So this is called super key. Next one is candidate key. Candidate key, once we derive the super key, we can easily find out the candidate key. Candidate key is, this is also called as minimal subset of attribute. Minimal subset of attributes. Minimal set of attribute means that can uniquely identify. So once we can take in the super key, we are going to take the candidate key. So from previous example, here we are taken employee ID, employee Aadhaar. So employee ID and employee Aadhaar are the candidate key. So minimal set of attributes. So employee ID, employee name. Here employee ID already we have taken. Because employee ID we have taken, employee Aadhaar we have taken. Uniquely identified. So employee ID and employee Aadhaar. Here we should not take the combinations. Employee ID with employee salary or employee ID with the contact. We should not take because employee ID we have already referred. So this is a minimal set of attributes. So once we referred, you should not take the consideration for the next time. So this is called a candidate key. So minimal set of attributes. Minimal means it should not be repeated. Simply we can say that it should not be repeated. Once we referred, it should not be repeated. Next, primary key. Primary key. So that can be more than one candidate key in relation, out of which one can choose as a primary key. So there can be n number of 2 or 3, 4, 5 candidates key we can take based upon the relation. Okay, so here only among the candidate key, one we are going to take as only one attribute we are going to take as primary key. from the candidate key. So previously we have seen the example in that we have taken employee ID and employee Aadhaar as a candidate key. Here we can take either employee ID as a primary key or employee Aadhaar as a primary key. So whatever, either we can take primary key as an employee ID or employee Aadhaar as a primary key. So both, either one we can take it out. So syntax, if I am creating a table, the syntax for defining a primary key is create table, table name, column 1 data type, column 2 data type. We can give the specifications of the columns. Then which column you have to specify as a primary key, that you have to specify with the keyword primary key followed by the column name. So this is a syntax for primary key. So create table, we have to create the table. Basic syntax is create table, table name, column name, data type. Same thing we have to do. At last, which column you have to specify as a primary key, that should be mentioned with the primary key keyword. Primary key. But primary key is, it should be unique plus it should not be null. So these two properties should be satisfied by an attribute. So it should be unique plus not null. Then it is called as primary key. So I mean, take employee ID as a primary key. It's unique to all the employees, but it should not accept, it will not accept null value. It should not accept null value. Same like here, employee Aadhaar also you can take. It can be a primary key. We can take primary key as an Aadhaar number also. Then it is not repeated to all. It is unique plus it should not be null. So we can take either one, primary key as an employee ID and primary key as an employee Aadhaar. So among this both, we can take any one as a primary key. That can be derived from the candidate key. The candidate key should be referred from the super key. Next one is alternate key. Alternate key, the key which is other than the primary key is called alternate key. So previous example, we have taken employee ID as a primary key. So employee ID is a primary key. So other than the alternate means other than the primary key. What is an attribute present in that list? So that is called as an alternate key. So here we are taking employee Aadhaar as an alternate key. Employee Aadhaar as an alternate key. So other than the primary key which is present in the candidate key are called what? Alternate key. Next one is unique key. Unique key is unique. It is unique, but it can accept null values. It will accept null values. Null values accepted. So this is what unique key. So employee contact is unique for each and every employee, but it can accept null value. So similar, employee email is unique to each and every employee, but it can accept null value. Simply you can say unique plus null values. So unique plus not null is primary key. Unique plus not null. Here we have taken unique plus not null is primary key. Unique plus null values is called unique key. Composite key. Composite key is whatever may be a tuple we are referring in the table. So it should be a primary key with primary key followed by multiple keys. Suppose primary key we have taken as employee ID is primary key, which can be. So that is a context and relational database. Combination of two or more columns. Combinations of two or more columns can be, that is used to identify uniquely. So combination of more than one columns. Here we are taking primary key as a main. Primary key, simply we can say it as primary key followed by n number of or any other columns. So primary key, here I have taken employee ID, employee salary. We can take employee ID, employee contact, employee email. So primary key plus followed by any other column or any other attribute name. So that is called as composite key. So primary key plus multiple columns. Primary key plus multiple columns are these are all called as a composite key. Next one is foreign key. Foreign key is a concept which can be used once we are referring two tables, once we are considering two or more tables. So here simply we can say it as when a primary key of one table referring the primary key, which is referred in the other table, is called the foreign key. When a primary key of another table is referred, that is called as foreign key. So if we have taken here, foreign key can be declared in a table by creating a table. So create table, table name, column, same thing. So what is a constraint we are giving? Constraint is foreign key name, foreign key, which one you are going to foreign key keyword, which one we are going to take as a foreign key, then references, which table you are going to refer, that referred table, the reference to column. So here we are taking what are the employee table, one table we have taken, a department. So these are the two different relations, employee and department. So in department ID is a primary key for that particular table. Here employee ID is a primary key for an employee table. So this department ID is referred in the employee table. So this is called as foreign key. The foreign key is the key which is the primary key in another table. So these two are the reference. So this department ID is referred in the employee table. So this employee table department ID is a foreign key, and department ID in the department table is a primary key. So this department ID is referenced in the employee. So that's why we are giving references keyword. Reference, not reference, references. So the references, this, while you are declaring a table, you have to be more careful that you use references. So reference table. So reference table, which table we are going to refer and which column we are going to refer. So that is this thing. So foreign keys, which is foreign key, that column name you have to specify. So here reference this, once you are going to add any data or any details in a particular relation, if we want to add a new data in a table, we should add in the main table. That is, here we are taking, and this is a parent table, this is child table. So once if you want to insert a new value, that is, for example, if you are taking department ID, if you want to include department ID 004, it should be included in the department table first, then only it can be referred in the employee table. Without inserting any data in the department table, we can't insert or we can't update anything. We can't do any changes in the employee table, because it is employee table in employee department ID is referring the department ID department table. So once you enter the values or insert the values or update the values for the whatever may be the operations or manipulations, if you want to do, that should be done in the department table first, then only we can do the operations in the employee table, because the employee ID is referring the the department ID is referring the department ID department table. So once you are going to change anything, that should be changed first in the parent table, then only we can change the changes in the child table. So this is foreign key. Foreign key is a table which is referring the primary key of other table. When a table is referring another table primary key, that is called as foreign key. So what we have done, we have taken the types of keys. So key which is used to identify a tuple, which is used to identify a tuple uniquely. To do that one, we are going to take a set attributes or set of attributes to identify a tuple. So super key, primary key, candidate key, alternate key, unique key, composite key, foreign key.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.